So I am very
Women in Business podcast with your host, Lauren Dulgheru, aka The Solutionist. You are about to discover priceless insight, experiences, and perspectives that will inspire and empower you to break down your own obstacles and reprogram your own limiting beliefs. All while raising women business owners to the pedestal that has been long awaiting, the coronation of true, principled women in business. Welcome to the Principled Women in Business podcast.
Welcome to the Principled Women in Business podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Dulgheru, aka The Solutionist. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the nation's #1 female business strategist. I help business owners just like you to start, capitalize, grow, scale, and ultimately exit their businesses for that big payday and that maximum valuation. Here on the Principled Women in Business podcast, we're here to talk about the obstacles, the problems, what we're struggling with in our business. Because the reality is there's always a solution. And they call me the solutionist. So I'm here to help you unravel those problems, those obstacles, those limiting beliefs, so that we can move you and your business to the next level. Because indeed, there is no such thing as a glass ceiling. You just need a mentor to help you get moving.
Welcome to the Principled Women in Business podcast.
I have something very special that I would like to share with everybody here today. Now, this isn't our normal Principled Women in Business podcast plan. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to call this a bonus episode. For those who don't know, I have been engaged with a mentor for a very long time. And I have undergone a transformation that I at the onset was not prepared for, but wow, when I look back and I really take it all in, I get very excited and I get very proud of myself. And I wanted to share that with everyone here today is, engage and take action, move forward. You'll want to engage with a mentor who's been where you want to be, who's gone where you want to go, who's had the experiences that you want to experience. And that was absolutely critical, not only in my own, I say mental journey, but my own spiritual, in my own inside journey. That's been absolutely critical, but banking better, leveraging better, thinking better. In any case, I wanted to share this interview from my mentor, which really, it was hard for me to talk about my journey. It hasn't always been the prettiest, so I got a little shaky there. But I think a lot of you can learn from it. It hasn't always been a pretty journey, right? There was that good, there was the bad, and then there was the ugly. So I'm sure somebody out there definitely resonates with that. So don't mind the little shakiness there, but I wanted to share this with you because I'm really proud of my journey. Anyways, I hope you enjoy it.
Hello everyone, this is Al Mills, aka the Prophetic Financier, and this is the TPF's Mentee Spotlight conversation. And I have with me the lovely Lauren Dulgheru, also known as the Solutionist. And for those who don't know me, I specialize in enhancing socioeconomic mobility for entrepreneurs, mankind, if you will, by helping them think better, bank better, and leverage better. And so this conversation today is to spotlight a great person who's made that step, taking that powerful step to changing the way that she thinks, she banked, and she leveraged. And we're going to share her story, her journey, and most of you get to know her most intimately. So welcome to the call, Lauren.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always an honor, and I'm humbled to be here with you on this journey and to be able to share it with everyone. That's really important to, bringing more people. So thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And I want to thank you for trusting in me to be able to share with you the mission that I was given and you becoming a part of that mission. So why don't you introduce yourself a little bit more formally to the audience?
Yes, thank you. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lauren Dulgheru, also the solutionist. I'm the #1 business strategist, and I help businesses to start, capitalize, grow, scale, and ultimately to exit on that final transition. And what I love most about what I do is I get the opportunity to help business owners grow their business so that they can help and impact more families. Because we're on a mission here to elevate the socioeconomic status of mankind. And my contribution to that is through businesses and then more through families. And I love what I do with business owners, and what I've learned through the TPF, has been critical, integral to my journey and really being able to bring more to other people and communities.
Awesome. So I know we met in a very strange way, but if you don't mind sharing a little bit about your journey, prior to us meeting.
So I have been a business owner since I was about 7, and through school learned, how to work, how to own a business. I started my very first job when I was 13, teaching swimming lessons, actually. I was great in school. I did exactly what I was told. Go to school, get good grades, excel, and go to college. My dad had me go to college, and I got an undergraduate degree in criminal justice and organizational management. I have minors in computer information systems and Spanish, and then I went on to move around the country. I learned how to grow more businesses, trucking companies. I had perfume companies. I built and I raced cars. I know that you were so shocked when I told you that story, but I used to build and race cars. I've also been in construction in the roofing industry, so I used to walk on roofs and work with adjusters. I have had pretty much every position that you would not expect from a female, and I loved it. But I have also been on a journey emotionally, right? Let's go there. I have learned how to come out of, emotional or mental distress. And I trained myself to do that early. So I feel that when I met you, I had learned how to move forward emotionally and mentally. So that was a big journey that I had gone through in a number of stages, bad relationships, moving around the country. It was, at the time, it was a hard journey. You don't wish those things on anybody. But looking back from where I've grown from, what I've done, what I've built, what I've rebuilt, and what I continue to build, as a team, as a nation, is I'll go through it again. That was, even though it was a roller coaster, the rewards and what I've learned and how I've moved forward and built and helped other people build. They always say, what would you tell 18-year-old self? And we would always have that piece of advice, right?
Right.
And the more and more I look back on that, I don't know if I could tell 18-year-old self much of anything. Because without any of those experiences, I wouldn't be, here today. I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have had the opportunities to experience the things that taught me the lessons that make me who and what I am today.
All right. It's funny too, because we met in such a strange way. We again, I'll just share my crazy. I met Lauren on a flight back to New York from Orlando. And, again, I traveled back and forward, having business in both states. And, it was the funniest thing, she was there with her little boy, and, typical mom thing was going on. And she was feeling so sorry that he was being a little noisy and a little uncomfortable on the flight, which I felt was quite normal. And I looked over and was like, no, don't worry about it. It's fine. And you're like, are you sure? I'm so sorry. And then we began to speak. And next thing you know, a relationship formed, a partnership, a journeyman or womanship started, and it just became really, really exciting. And so we became a part of a community together, which we call Empirenomics. And I can tell you, Lauren has been one of those, if you will, kick butt, take name type of personality, learn very quickly, apply the information. There are times that she was a little questionable. She would always ask lots of questions, but nevertheless, always spot on in reference to that. But Lauren, and if you had to capsulate what Empirenomics did for you, because our goal is to always help our community members think better, bank better, and leverage better. But more so in the thinking part, I always like to focus on, unlocking your past, helping you understand your current circumstances so that we can uncover your future so that you can have more income, more impact, and more freedom. So what was the one thing that you would take away from Empirenomics that you said was that aha moment?
And the aha moment, as you know, and as I frustrated you many times with my 10 million questions, was really the thinking and the knowing. When you're coming up through school and you're being taught in university how to behave professionally, we're taught a very specific program. And when we transition into industrialism and thinking better, banking better, leveraging better, it's a new way, but it is so powerful. And it took, sadly, hardly, that's one of the things that was one of the hardest things on my journey was, coming up to that knowing. And when you're in that space of knowing and having that thinking better, knowing better, everything really starts to change. And to everybody who's on this journey, it's not about the money. It's not about those things first. It's really about the thinking and knowing, thinking better. And that's where it all starts. Took me a while to get to know it.
Well, I have to honestly say, you were pretty much spot on. I went through the same process, went to school, got a good education, got a good job, did all that great stuff until one day I really wanted to learn more about money. And my aha moment was the fact that when I realized that the financial industry was geared towards not the prosperity or upliftment of their clients, but it was more so the fat cats who were the ones really profiting from that. And I had to walk away from it. It was an integrity check for me. That was my aha moment. It was my integrity check. And I put it all on the line to become clear with one of my clients. And I gained a mentor that changed my life. So if you can see, our lives are somewhat parallel. You were in a transitional point in your life and you met me the same way I was in the transitional space when I met my mentor. And it's all the world of a difference. And so I can say that. But it comes back to, like you mentioned, a place of knowing, being and knowing. Most folks are just on a paradigm of just following along. And here's interesting. The Prussian is called the Prussian system in America.
The Prussian,
The Prussian system. So back in the war with Germany, they trained children to be loyal and soldiers. And so the whole educational system, America adopted it in 1867. And so educational system's been geared towards creating a very obedient worker/soldier. So you were never thought to think.
Yes.
The thought to follow instructions.
And that's how I always knew that something was very different and very wrong. You're told to go to school, get that job. And I went through and I did that, but there was always something very, very wrong about it. I always thought differently. In school, I was great in school, but I arrived at the solutions in a different way. And you don't get rewarded for those types of things. I spent more time in the principal's office or after class for doing things exactly a different way. And you're right, it's the educational system and really following that path. Because I always knew I was definitely different. If I'm getting in trouble for school for solving math, definitely. But you're exactly right. And as I learned and studied and apprenticed under you, what I learned about what the banks were doing, what businesses were doing, how things were functioning, not for the benefit of the person, but completely the opposite. That just pushed my drive more to want to help more people, to want to bring it's freedom. When you learn how to freedom, it's freedom and it's freedom. When you learn how to bring that, you can bring it to other people and they can have it too.
Right.
That's exciting for me.
So that's great. So we covered thinking. So share your aha moment in banking better.
Which one?
Whichever one you like to share.
Banking better. So I did the right things, especially in business, the right things coming up. You'd have a business account, a savings account, your own checking account. And I thought that I was handling this correctly. And you would go into stocks or bonds or mutual funds and you would have all of these things. And the bank account got you, 0.5%, and then it slid down, a quarter? The stocks, bonds, mutual funds, 4%. And I came up with that. Like, those were good numbers. I was doing the right things. Let's learn about banking better. Then you learn that you can create your own bank. You can experience 10.2%. You can learn strategies to have, a 15, 30% return every month after month, and create generational wealth, passive income, and still have your own private bank. And that was...
Yeah, when I first learned that strategy and I implemented it, I didn't realize I could kill 3 birds with 1 stone.
Yes.
I could get better yields on my money. I could have a retirement account built in, and I could leave a legacy for my family. When I learned that construct, I was blown away. So
yes.
I share that.
With a minimum amount of tools. You don't have to have a ton of tools. With a minimum amount of tools, you can create great wealth.
Right.
For generations to come.
So let's talk about leverage. Now, leverage, I know you're going to have a lot more in depth because we actually work together in the space of leverage, concerning credit, all the things. But share with me, what was the aha thing for you in terms of leverage?
Again, I did the right things. I was taught how to have great credit. I had my first credit card when I was 16, and it had like a $12,000 limit. And I didn't use it. I just used a little bit, and I would have paid off because at that point, I had a job. I was bringing in an income. So my dad taught me have a card.
At 16.
And had a card. He taught me, have a card, use a teensy bit, pay it back. That's all you need. You're fine. Mm-hmm. But I had always used it to buy the house, the cars, the stuff, the clothes, but then all I had to do was pay it off at the end of the month. When you learn that you can use this thing that we call credit, which is really debt, which is really leverage, to create income and to buy things that are going to make a true difference in your life and your lifestyle,
right.
that is magical. That was my aha moment. When you started telling me, all of these things that I should be using my credit for, that was groundbreaking. Yeah,
for me, when I discovered how to use leverage, in the community, we talk about positive, neutral, and negative leverage. Yes. But more important for me, when I understood that leverage or credit or money was nothing more than the energy of my capacity to think, my mind, life changed. That's when I began to realize, wait a minute, I have unlimited energy in my ideas and thoughts, but my goal is to just know how to take that and help others through leverage and create as many accounts of this occult, fictitious money as possible. And that's when I was able to convert credit to cash into other things, and it was an aha moment. So I was so excited about that. So I'm glad that we had an opportunity to kind of discuss those 3 major things. So if there was one thing that you would tell anyone watching this broadcast, maybe in your network, our network together, what is the one thing that you would like for someone to take away from this interview?
That indeed, if you can think it, you can have it. Thinking better is going to get you all of the things over and above. And it starts from that root thing of thinking better. So TPF always says, think it, be it, have it all.
Right.
Think it. That's the start there. And if you're ready to be committed in yourself and truly move into a place of freedom, you are in the right place at exactly the right time.
Awesome. And again, for me, being able to empower individuals like yourself is so rewarding. There's nothing money can reward you better than seeing a person's eyes light up or that dome illuminate,
Yes.
Where you say, wow, there's alternatives than the old paradigm. I can do something different. You're never that bank account.
Get out of this. There's a way out. There's a way up. Mm-hmm. Because the truth is, society and big banking, commercial businesses will tell us there's no way up. You get teensy tiny little steps. But when you learn that there's a way up, and they're not teensy tiny little steps, they're grand actions. It's big, it's transformative results. It's there. You just have to be ready to raise your hand and take the steps forward to have it.
Absolutely. And for those women in business out there who want someone who they can relate to in business, being a woman, feel free to reach out to Lauren. Lauren, feel free to share your contact information on the broadcast right now if you would like.
Yes, please reach out to me right away, all business women, because we've got this. We can have the grand businesses, the revenue, we can have it all. Contact me right away at The Solutionist Queen on Facebook, and you can also find me on LinkedIn. Check The Solutionist, Lauren Dulgheru. But you'll find me all over the internet, including YouTube. We have another podcast as well called the Principled Women in Business Podcast. And that is all about solving problems in businesses and really uncovering solutions so that we can all be moving together. Because it's about breakthrough. It's about those action steps. So let's go ahead and take those together.
That's right.
As my amazing mentor has groomed and taught me, so that now I can bring it to other people, other businesses. And that's where the mission is, right? Because it's a mission to help humanity move up, and all of us are in our different spaces, and it's about coming together as a team. So thank you so much for having me. Ladies, business owners, step up. You've got this. Think it, and you have it. So let's come together.
Let's come together. Absolutely, Lauren. My joy. And for everyone who wants to be a part of our community with myself and Lauren, I'm going to ask that you text 917-810-2387. Again, that's 917-810-2387, and text Empirenomics. And you will be placed in our private community, text community. We don't advertise, we don't solicit, we don't market. We're just looking for individuals who are change seekers, looking to create that socioeconomic mobility and no longer be a victim in this uncertain times in the economic system. So again, Solutionists, thank you once again for just being part of the spotlight. Here you have it, guys. We believe in proof is in the pudding. Self-praise is never good praise. We'd rather hear from those who've taken the steps and shared their results with you. So once again, this is Al Mills from Empirenomics with The Solutionist. I want to thank you for just listening to our conversation today. Be well and take care.
So I'm glad you listened to the interview that my cherished mentor did with me as his featured mentee, the Mentee Spotlight, because I'm very proud of that accomplishment. There's a lot of people in the community who have been in the community longer, or may have done things that I wanted to do. So I was very proud that, he honored me in that way. And I wanted to share that with you guys. But I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about, who I am, who Lauren really is. And there's so much more that I want to share, and I'm going to be sharing about who I am and what my mission is, because this is really all about a mission, and this could be a totally other podcast. But this is really all about forwarding a mission and bringing an end to, heartache and lack of money and currency in humankind. We're here to uplift and enhance the socioeconomic mobility of mankind. So together we're on this mission. Thank you for joining me on this bonus episode and really sharing in, me opening up to you guys, letting you know more about me. That means a lot to me. So again, I'm Lauren Dulgheru, aka The Solutionist. I'm the nation's #1 female business strategist, and I help business owners to start, capitalize, grow, scale, and ultimately to exit their businesses. I'm here to help you to grow your business, to learn how to be a principled woman in business, and to really uncover solutions to the obstacles that we're dealing with every day. Stay tuned until next time, when we'll have a new upcoming guest to share with you their journey and how we're going to help them overcome their obstacles in business.
And that wraps up another episode of the Principled Women in Business podcast. Follow us on social media to never miss an episode and to unlock full access to your trusted business solution center. Find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta, and YouTube. Till next time, stay strong and keep crushing. Find us at laurendulgheru.me or call 407-337-1117.